Weirdo.
At least I think so. And the beat go. Something over.
You got some commas in the bank, now that's a major move. Free yourself from what they think, now that's a major move. When they retrace.
Yeah, man.
Let me get in my mode, man. I was just in a student mode for a minute, man.
Yeah.
Just chopping it up with the homie here. I'm gonna give him his proper introduction, but yeah, this is family here, and this is another episode of Gold Mine Mondays. I'm your host, Billy Sloan, and my guest today, like I said, is family.
Absolutely.
I don't really talk about these days, so to speak, not a lot. I touch on it, but when I was kind of, trying to move around in the industry a little bit, I came across this guy. I'm sure we'll kind of get into the discussion of how we met. Super producer, engineer, connect. You know what I'm saying? As far as industry wise, he like to plug for the industry, man. Whatever you're trying to, he's like a one-stop shop, and we'll get into that as well. But I met him on the engineering side. Very humble guy. Always been cool. The same. It's rare that you find people in this game that we trying to pursue that's gonna be the same. And this guy's been solid since I met him, man. None other than the homie QP.
Man, I appreciate it.
AKA, you want me to say we doing away with the other name?
No, I mean that's me. That's my my government name, so it is what it is.
So AKA Mixed by Nando.
Yeah.
But I know him as QP. I met him as QP, man.
That's right.
First of all, a long time.
We're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah. Long time, man. I'll let you tell how we met. And then we'll get into exactly who QP is.
Okay. Well, I mean, if I can take it back, and if I'm gonna start about where I was at in the music business when I met Billy and True Breed and the guys who he was working with, the label, and of course I got to stop and say shout out to Erica, because that's actually how I met y'all, was Miss Erica. At that time in my life, I had already been doing music, been producing and going around to different studios and getting mentored from the Jazzy Phase. Shout out to Show Enough Records, to the BMEs. Shout out to Empress Cersei. The different labels around the city. As a young guy, I was still working full-time job at T-Mobile. Not to jump too far ahead, but I was the plug on the cell phones, the Sidekicks, the Blackberries, and all of that. Yeah, they came to me all the way from AG Entertainment. From I handled the Visions account, 1079. I was doing some stuff up there. Techie Tuesdays, which is still going on. I started doing that with what's her name, Beyonce. But what happened was, I was at T-Mobile working one day, and I met Erica. She was in there having some phone problems, and me being a engineer and producer, I was already working, with some of the Outlaws and some of my family members that I was doing music with. That I was on my own path at the time, but I was also engineering. She told me about a situation that was going on at Def Jam, and worked with Slick Puller. I didn't even know who Slick Puller was at the time, but she said she had an artist, who she wanted me to work with. And shout out to Slick Puller, man. I mean, because and to get that, without Slick, I wouldn't be so quick. Slick used to cuss me out. QP Ski, what we doing? And actually, these right here, I'm gonna buy you some glasses, man. You need to goddamn get your glasses. Yeah. And I got my glasses, Slick. I can see a little better. But I met Erica, and I started working with Slick. Shout out to Justice League. We did a full week. Had a good time working with them fellas. And that was my introduction to working with labels and getting involved in working with numerous artists that were on a label. I had already had my own studio at the time, and then I ran in the slum, and the rest of the guys. It was kind of on from there. We just kind of started a camaraderie, and we got to work. We put out some nice projects during that time.
Absolutely, man. So we're gonna put a pause on that. I want to know who QP is. We know the production. We know the engineering. Where did it all start for QP?
Ooh. All right. Well, we'll go in depth, I guess. QP actually. Wow. So I came to Atlanta. I'm from South Georgia. Shout out to the 912. Shout out to South Georgia. Down Hinesville. Shout out to Liberty County, South Georgia. down by Fort Stewart, Hinesville, Liberty County.
Mhm.
Music has always been my passion, has always been my dream. Believe it or not, my dream was to be a rapper, I thought. Along with some guys that I grew up with, I started being a DJ back in Fort Ruck, Fort Stewart, / manager. Shout out to them boys. And I had ambitions to come to Jack the Rapper. You remember Jack the Rapper?
Mhm.
I had ambitions to come to Jack the Rapper and get discovered, you know. But being that I've always been involved in music all the way around the board, I didn't realize that I was an engineer producer because I grew up in a small town. I didn't
Yeah.
know what none of that shit really was. I just
Yeah.
knew that the music was
You was
made.
doing it, but didn't realize.
I didn't realize how important
Yeah.
different jobs was
Yeah,
until I met y'all. You know what I mean? As far as on some engineer stuff, that's when I really got serious about the engineer game.
Yeah.
But as far as like who Curious is, man, I came to Atlanta in 1997. Went to Clark Atlanta University, CAU. Shout out to them boys. I went to Clark Atlanta with DJ Drama, Trendsetter. Shout out to Sense, Cannon. All familiar with each other. And while I was going to Clark Atlanta University, I started a record label called Real Life Entertainment. We dropped a CD on campus. A lot of people know about it. Them guys was doing the DJ thing and they was doing it real good. I saw that. I saw the start, and I'll see how them boys and they running the game now. And we definitely familiar with all of that. But I was on another mission to actually do the music, and what that took me to was at CAU. I went to school for business marketing. So me going to school for business marketing and not going to school for music was always a up and down struggle for me, who QP is, because I've always had an open door in the retail business, sales environment, but my passion has always been music and helping people.
Right.
And, coming to now and, being able to work for myself, I finally found my way, you know what I mean? So now I do this all for myself versus working for other companies.
Right.
But that's who I am. I'm a person who came from the country with a dream to be involved in the music industry, and now I'm in the music business. So I've been around the music business for a while. I learned a lot from a lot of people, got a lot of mentors. I've worked at Patchwork Studios. I've worked at Street Execs. I worked at a lot of different spots, worked with a lot of different companies, but all in all, what I've done is I stayed true to QP. I mean, that's what Billy knows. That's who I am, QP. As far as like who I work with, DJ MLK. I mean, that's my dog. We've been running together since day one, since he was in high school. So, I'm all about networking.
Shout out MLK.
Shout out MLK,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. And we'll get into that. I know it might be a long interview, but I'm all about networking. I'm all about helping artists get better and pushing towards your dream, just like I'm pushing towards my dream. So that's me in a sense.
So what made you say, man, you know what? I'm gonna let the artist side of it go, and I found my niche here as far as like pulling the string, because basically you are, the pulse of whatever the song gonna be, whether to determine whether it's gonna be a hit or not. So we a lot of times we say respect the DJ, which is true. Shout out to all the DJs, but we definitely have to respect the engineers, because without them, y'all make it shake and move. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
So you like the pulse of what's gonna determine if the people fuck with it or not. You can have a hot ass song while you're recording, but if it ain't mixed right,
Mm-hmm.
people are like, what the fuck it is? I don't, So
Absolutely.
again, what made you say, hey, I think I need to be behind the poles instead of trying to be in front of the camera?
That's a good question. That's a real good question, Billy.
Hey man.
I tell you what, I've been doing music with a lot of people, and I've worked with a lot of artists, and I think what made me actually get more involved in engineering and producing is quality. Me personally, I hear a lack of quality out there with records. I hear a lot of people try to rush success and rush their hits. And I like to bring the best out of people, just in general. So I think to myself, I can be more impactful as a producer and as an engineer versus a rapper. And, what made me kind of get away from it is the industry ain't really feeling my type of rap, to be honest with you. So it's like, you have to know what's going on in your environment, and you don't change for the environment, but you definitely got to know, you got to adapt. You got to know what's going on. And also you got to go with your God-given talents. I don't think God gave me this ability as the engineer, hear stuff differently, so I can just be out there rapping and not giving that gift away. So from my perspective, I had to take a step back and not be selfish and say, okay, yeah, you can rap. You think, yeah, you can do this, but because you are a good rapper and because you demand the best out of you and you've been in that booth a million times, you know what needs to be done in there.
Yeah.
So that's what I do when I'm working with an artist and I'm really passionate about it, is I'm gonna push you. You know, I'm gonna push you to be the best artist and to bring the best record, because honestly, like Billy was saying, if we get the best out you in the booth, my job is easy to mix the record.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is making what you said sound good. You know what I mean? So people can hear it in a sonic environment. And mixing is like, people don't really realize how important mixing is.
Mixing is everything, man.
You know, I always give a scenario in this same room. People are like, what's a mix? You know, tell me the difference. And I say, okay, well, look at the door. You got 10 people in this room. Can we all fit through the door? Most people say, nah, I can't fit through the door at one time. Yeah, we can. If one person lay down, when they go flat, somebody go up under his leg, somebody come up over, you know, that's kind of what a mix is music has to come at you in different dynamics so it can fit through the door, which is the speaker. You know what I mean?
He can philosophical on me.
I mean, not to drop too much, because I try to keep my jewels to myself, but I'm just teasing. But that's what it is, though. It's like, how can I fit everything through this door? And in a sense, the door is your headphones. It's the circle. It's the music. You know, everything comes like this. So a lot of times, people with the music, they just put it through the 2 tracks, put some effects on it, a template or whatever, and drop it down and think that it's gonna be good because it's loud. Like, that's not a mix. But you know, I mean, the difference in that is the science of it.
So that leads me to my next question, man. Being that you such a surgeon with this mixing game, who was the artist that first mix down when you played it back? You're like, ooh, shit, I'm mean. I'm mean. What artist? Who's the artist and what song was it that you mixed when it clicked? Man, I'm mean with this shit, man. Ain't nobody fucking with me.
Ooh. You know, engineers have a thing of saying we never through with a mix. You know, we'll mix it forever because it's always something we can change. But if I have to put one record,
I mean, I know you got multiple. I'm saying the first one that jumped off where you click for you. Oh man,
I'll have to say Slick Puller. Yeah. You know, I had to go straight with Slick Puller.
4th Ward Day.
If I don't know which record, you know what I mean? I can't.
I'm talking the first 4th Ward Day. That's the one that kind of resonate with the street, like the hardest at least in my area.
Okay.
My bad. Let me let you.
No, it's cool. It's cool because I mean, as engineers, we tend to forget records, you know, because we be working so much.
Yeah.
But as far as in the studio, it probably was a Slick Puller record. Something that where I was able to see other people's response versus my own response.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the response of people in the room gave me the energy to say, "Oh shit." He was feeling my mixes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My vocals is cutting through.
Yeah.
You know, and I can remember asking a few guys, you know, or you know, just telling them, you know, how I go about mixing. Leslie, shout out to Leslie Bratwork. I'm probably saying his last name wrong, but shout out to Leslie. He used to be a Patchwork. Told him what I did with my EQ. He was like, "Yeah, that's the first thing I do." So little things like that helped me along the way. You know, I didn't start out great. I didn't start out knowing how to mix.
Right.
Because I didn't go to school for music. I didn't go to school as an engineer. I didn't go to school to produce. I put myself through another situation. Like I said, I was in retail. So I took a job at Mars Music. Remember Mars Music? It was like Guitar Center.
Yeah.
I took a job up there because I knew I could get a sales job. And I went in there, shout out to Kane. That's where I met my dog Kane at. I ain't gonna have to. You remember Kane?
I don't remember Kane.
PTR? I had to put that on camera. But that's where I met a lot of different artists at. But it was a book in there called The Art of Mixing. I just gave you the game now. The Art of Mixing. I read that book right there before I was told I could be a mixer. Because a lot of mastering engineers, studios, they tell you can't be a mixer if you didn't go to school for it. I beg to differ because I'm a mixer and I'm working. But that's kind of what, you know, what got me my technical skills is reading. You know, before YouTube was out, before, you know, all the tutorials was out, I picked up them books personally because I said if people are going to school, all they're doing is giving them books. You know, I went to college already, so I knew that. So I decided to pick up some books and get some knowledge and stayed up late nights and was mastering my skills. And honestly, and to be straightforward with you, When I went and worked with Slick Puller, I had never worked on that board before,
That
So-
big one.
the big one.
Yeah.
So I showed up to a studio and had never worked on that board before with no technical
And
training.
y'all end up making magic.
I had to go in there and act like I knew what the fuck was going on. With that
Damn.
board- with that
We
board.
get
So-
history
so-
too.
so
at
what
the
I
same
did-
time.
Right. So
Yeah.
what I did was, no bullshit. I forget who it was. I forget. It was at my guy, remember Sean's studio.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it was a guy out there in the hallway, and I went out there and asked him, "Hey man, bruh, I don't know that board. Could you come and give me like a quick little boom, boom, boom on it, so I can understand it, so I won't look all foolish in here. I know music because it's kind of all the same. If you know music, you know what you're looking for,
Mhm.
then it's just learning the equipment, at that point. And then I learned that by going to a whole bunch of other studios. You just kind of take a deep breath, get comfortable, look what you got around, and go in. Because you can't really make no mistakes if you're trying, That's my concept.
That's what's up, man. So, being that you, I guess my next question would be, we know you get funky on the mixes, man. Who are the people that you admire as far as like, oh, I can tell that's a such and such mix. I can tell such and such touch that. Because I would imagine that y'all know.
Yeah,
If you hear, for example, we looking at a Straight Outta Compton.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Right behind you.
Nah, it's not. It's cool
Yeah.
you say that. That's a great
So,
question.
Dre,
It's funny you
you
say
can
that.
tell when he done touched it.
You can
know what I'm
tell.
saying?
Once again, I did not go to school for music, right?
Right.
But I'm not no dummy. So it's like what I figured the music that I like, if I like it so much, find out why I like it so much, right?
Mhm.
So I would listen to, even with production, this is how I learned how to produce. I would listen to Dr. Dre's music, Dr. Dre, because he was the dopest, right? So I listened to the Chronic, and if you're listening to the Chronic, you can hear the snare, right?
Mhm.
You can hear the hi-hat, because Dre mixing the fuck out these records.
Yeah.
You can hear the you can hear the sounds.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, zone out everything else and start with the snare. Only listen to the snare in his music. Try to. And then you emulate that, put it back in your mix, you know what I mean? Only listen to the hi-hat. Only listen to the kick, and just kind of just embody each instrument
Yeah.
and just try to replicate, the
That's
sound
a hell of a
quality.
science, man.
Yeah.
Like people ask me like on the art side, like, what? How do you come up with this stuff? I don't know. I just let the music take me wherever it's supposed to go, and I feel
Mhm.
like the universe gonna take care of the rest.
hmm
So from what you describing, it's like a similar process. It's a little more technical, but it's like you just let it feel. You feel it out, and then you let it take you where it's supposed to go.
Absolutely. Because that's what music is.
Yeah.
You got to remember when people are listening to music, it's supposed to be as natural as possible,
Mhm.
organic. They're not supposed to hear it as you hear the hi-hat or you hear the snare. I had to get into that, embody it to hear it separate.
Yeah.
But if you hear it separate and you're hearing that, it's not mixed. If you got the cake sitting over there, but you still got the egg over there, it's not.
Yeah. It
You
ain't
forgot
all-
to put that part of the ingredient in, and you just can't. It's not gonna taste
So
or feel the same. way.
That being said, being that you are so technical and passionate about the end result, the end
Mhm.
product, how do you feel as an engineer who is kind of hands-on and very detailed and intricate? How do you feel when you hear some of these like hit records, that's even on the radio, and it's like
I give
they
you
threw that out?
I give you one for example. Sometimes you can be over technical
Mm-hmm.
as engineers. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, music is what's the word I'm looking for? It's subjective.
Mhm.
Music is subjective.
That's true.
So it was a song I heard on the radio, and I'm like, who, why, and what the fuck was they thinking
And
about?
them shits be going.
And it was Kodak Black.
Ooh,
It was Kodak
I
Black.
fucks with Kodak.
But that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Because Kodak, right? Shout out to the boy Kodak Black. I love his energy. You got to remember, organic. I love everything about Kodak. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That guy is putting himself on the mic. So that's the part I listen to.
Mhm.
But the quality ain't the best. It's just not. You know what I mean? As far as his mixes. But I can listen to that over some shit that's got great quality because I like.
It's the feeling.
it's the
man.
feeling of
It
it.
make you feel that shit.
But
man. Shout out
but
to
imagine
Kodak
this.
Black.
Watch this though. Kodak dope.
Mhm.
He got good music. I think he should be a little further than like I ain't gonna mention names, but just some certain people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If he had the quality, he'd be kicking their ass right now. If he took his time, he kicking their ass.
Yeah.
But that's just like anything. That's just like if you're a natural at playing basketball,
Mhm.
but you don't go work out.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to use LeBron, for example. But if LeBron, I mean, a lot of people got talent like LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people big like him.
Mm-hmm.
But if he don't work on that and get stronger and get better, I mean, he wouldn't have never won a championship. He would have just been a good player,
Yeah.
you know, kicking ass like, you know, an Iverson. You know, different talent,
Ooh,
different
you gonna
different
get some
skills.
throw to some.
Nah, because that's the guy. Allen Iverson, he's like one of the top players ever to
Yeah.
play in the league. His passion, the way he went to the hole, the way he played the game. You know, he just didn't. But a guy like that, working in retail, I realized a guy like that, they'll never bring you a good team. You got to make your team better because you're so good. You know what I mean? They'll never bring you the team because in their head, they think you good already.
Yeah.
They think you can do it on your own because they don't realize that sometimes even the great need help.
And why give you the top notch dollar and spend it on these other guys when you know what I'm saying, you kind of like carrying it on your back.
And what the owners probably was like, we'll forego having a championship because we selling all these jerseys. You feel what I'm saying? We don't want to pick up a second player and pay him all this money because that's gonna throw it off.
Okay, talk, man.
I mean, I went to school for business, so at the end of the day, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
You know, like everything is, it's a numbers game. You know.
Right on, man.
You know, and in this business right here, it's not only a numbers game, it's a networking thing and it's a relationship. And people fuck up both of those.
Talk to it, man. Elaborate.
I mean, it's simple.
Everybody knows what you're talking about, but you know, might as well speak on it.
Well, shit, I mean, it's simple, you know, and people fuck up relationships. You know, people always want to say what this person don't do for them, or even you watching on social media, people post because this person ain't doing this person ain't. What are you doing for yourself? You know, to help the relationship, to work the relationship, or are you just trying to pull something out of the relationship and not giving nothing back and complaining about what you're not getting out the relationship because that's all you want is something out the relationship versus giving it. And people see that shit. It's like you can see that shit a mile away. You know, and new artists come in the game thinking that somebody like me, who they meeting as Nando, you know, they're not realizing that QP been around here.
Yeah.
I might look a little younger, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or walk it. I don't know.
Hey, man, it's the melanin, man.
Hey, I love it.
Indigenous people, man. Indigenous people, you know, we timeless.
But the experience shows that, hey, man, I kind of know what the fuck going on a little bit, and I'm watching you, you know. And when you fucking up them relationships, you know, that's for life. And people, you know, people in the music business kind of never forget that. You know, I had the same number for over 15 years. Damn near been in the same spot for over 10 years. And I'm not perfect, but, you know, it's just kind of how you respect the game of the music industry. You know what I mean? I
mean, that goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of the interview, man. This guy has always been the same demeanor, never on no Hollywood shit. And like you hear from what he's saying, he's very well connected. But it goes back to keeping your face card clean. You know what I'm saying? He can mingle with the stars in Hollywood and come back and mingle with the common folk like myself and what you witnessing right here, man. So, you know, that speaks volumes, character, you know, like you saying, maintain relationships, man. That's real, man.
That's it's big, you know. And my angle in the music business has always been, you know, I studied Tupac and the Outlaws, you know, that's personal family. Shout out to Castro, you know, shout out to everybody else, you know, under the umbrella. But nothing against the music business in itself, but
that's why I was going at.
I'm not gonna change who I am, you know, morally to play that game.
Yeah.
You know, for some money, you know.
That's what I was about to ask you, man. How do you feel about the current state of the industry, man?
I think social media has given people the sense of instant gratification so bad that all they want to is a like or for somebody to, you know, validate what they got going on. So they don't think it out. They don't think the moves out. They don't think the plays out. They don't think the relationships out. And they move so fast, you know, that they miss some things, you know, like simple shit. I'd sit down and talk to so many artists and give them game on how to distribute their music, put it out, try to give everybody the game that sit down with me, whether they respect my situation and say, hey, this guy's give me some good business, let me go back and work it through him, or not. Most of them don't know shit about the business, and they'll get excited about a song and put it out the next day, not realizing that you've just fucked yourself. You know, you've just went to a point where of no return, as they say.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because you don't understand the system.
Hey, preach.
You-
Preaching.
you-
I'm getting game. Y'all getting game. Keep going.
You giving money away. You know what I'm saying? You worked all that hard. You did all this to put your money online and give it away before you take care of your business. And me as a producer, which is why I stopped producing so much, is if I'm not doing paperwork with your split sheets, copyrights, handling it all the right way, knowing that my money one day gonna come back to my kids, why am I doing music with you? You know, I mean, we all do music for passion and fun, but we can't have no fun if you broke. And only thing gonna happen is the system, for lack of a better term, is gonna get money off of you. You know, they're gonna be the ones eating off of your negligence of knowledge. You know, so that's why I started my company, We Brand Artists, because a lot of people want me to manage them. Like, managing is like babysitting people. So if you're not gonna go in a contract with me for the benefit of you, to benefit us, then I'm not gonna do it. It doesn't make sense because I got knowledge on marketing and management. And that's why I started We Brand Artists along with my staff is to help people and to help you monetize your brand and along with the other companies that I got coming. But, you know, it comes from dealing with people like you, Billy. You know what I mean? Good people who I want to help them. I want to be a part of their success. Because some people in the industry, you know, you don't want to be part of their success or losses, you know, back to relationships. You know, if I run into somebody and something doesn't go right as far as what your word is, not in business, but what your word is, and you get, as they call it, being a snake, you know what I'm saying? It's not cool to be a snake. If you start being a snake towards me, then fuck you. And that's how I'm gonna move, you know what I mean? Because that's how you're doing me. So it's like, at that point, we shouldn't even be doing business together. You don't want to do business with me at that point. You know, I don't want to do business with you either, but you don't want to do business with me because I'm gonna keep my morals about everything, about how I react to your actions. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the part of the music business that I care not to. I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah,
it. It
So has that kind of kept you in the cut, kind of
absolutely,
so long? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, for so long, no more. But yeah, that's definitely kept me in the cut because, you know, you have to be comfortable with yourself in this music business. You know, and you got to be comfortable with your surroundings and what's going on and what, as I call it, ecosystem in the environment.
I kind of felt the same way, man. Like I'm definitely passionate about the art form. It's just when you see a lot of the inner workings of how this shit really go,
Yeah.
it kind of sometimes make you want to just do I really want to be a part? You want to be heard by the world,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be distributed through the world and have the world sharing your art, but just like the bullshit that come with it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but
Because would you deal with that at your regular job? Hear what I'm saying? If you went to your regular job on your 9 to 5 and you was not happy, people was, you know, every turn. I mean, just whatever you dealing with on your
Always
regular,
something.
you find another job.
Right.
Straight up, you find another job. You know what I mean? So in this music business, you can't find another job if you're an artist. It's like you got to remember,
You take the bitter with the sweet.
you got to take the bitter with the sweet. But I think people's approach has always been kind of wrong. Like, quit trying to indulge in the music industry so much as artists and indulge in your fan base. If you indulge in your fan base, then you become part of the music industry.
Righteous. You preaching to me, brother. You preaching to me, man.
And I mean, to be preaching to Billy, I've been talking to Billy for years, you know what I mean? And one thing I loved about his whole embodiment of his music career is he's passionate about his music and he's fucking talented. First and foremost, I mean, he's talented. And
Appreciate it.
you're welcome. And in the music industry, that's the first thing to be overlooked. It's talent. You know, especially when you know you have talent and you're not willing to risk your talent for financial success, or not even for, in some of these artists' minds, not even for financial success, just to be popular. You know what I mean? But just like in high school, remember the popular nigga in high school? I mean, I was a popular nigga in high school, but I'm just saying, like,
Most times you look at the popular nigga in high school, what's really popping for him right
what's
now?
really popping for him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, was you trying to be popular, or was you just popular by popular demand? And I say that again. Was you trying to be popular, or was you popular by popular demand? Because if you building your fan base, that's what it is. You'll be popular by popular demand. You know, and like working with you, Billy, that's what keeps guys like me working in the music business. Is people who are talented. That's when the days are good. When you're able to come across a song, you know, that's what keeps you as an engineer and as a producer going. It's like, ooh, shit, I just made a banger with my guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those are the days that really keep you active. Cause you know, it could be somebody, and I've dealt with some clients who, you know, how can I say, had they head up their ass type shit, you know what I mean? Thought they was better than they was, or thought they was more than they was. And, you know, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I stop working with you, you know, and you stop working with me, and we just go about our ways, because you can't be coming to work giving me your ass to kiss, and I'm trying to make your shit better.
That goes back to what I was saying, man. I like the post, because you can easily make it a hit or make it some shit. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely don't want to ruin that relationship, man. Mm-hmm. Artists, please keep it 100 with your engineer. Man.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this one with a smile. What makes y'all think we ain't supposed to make no money? Check it. This is the formula. You walk into the studio feeling yourself as an artist, and you say, man, I'm trying to make $1 million off this record. Let's start with the producer. I'm about to make $1 million off this record as an artist. First off, you don't think the producer want to make that off of that? You don't think the engineer want to make? So you want him to make you sound like $1 trillion, and you make $1 million, but you definitely trying to chump the engineer off on sessions, on paying them per hour, on however you be talking to your engineers, you know, in the booth. Run that shit back, man. What the fuck? All that, like, come on, man. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, who are you respecting? Who are you choosing to respect? But you'll respect somebody else who ain't got shit to do with the music, but you won't respect the guy who is making your car run. That nigga could really do some shit to your car, like put a banana in your tailpipe, fuck you up type shit. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? It's like, who are you respecting? And wonder why we got so many trash sounding records out here. It's not that these engineers don't know what they're doing, it's y'all not respecting the system of the engineer. You gotta, you know, most engineers who doing it right
for charge the most part, respecting everybody's time, man. Yeah. You know, that's something you can't get back. You can lose a bag and get another bag. It's your time, you can't get that back. So I always respect that first when I'm dealing with people in business.
You know, and look, I appreciate definitely the interview. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I am a private type person typically. Yeah. Because you get what you get. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like people tend to either want to be around that or they don't, you know what I mean? Because either they can handle it or they can't, you know what I'm saying? The truth or not the truth. And, you know, I'm just not with sugarcoating that bullshit. I'm with making some success factors. How can we get to that? Make myself better, make you better, you know what I mean? Right on. And make our situation better, you know, not just make your situation better. Like, it's got to be, like I say, in business in itself is not a good deal if it's not a good deal for both parties. And that's kind of how I treat my business. You know, if an artist pays me to do something as far as like a mix or studio time, you know, I'm gonna be on time. Unless something happens, I'm gonna make sure that your mix is properly done. Or, you know, call me up, let me readjust that, let me get that back sounding right. You know, don't instantly be like, oh, fuck that nigga. I mean, it might just be an adjustment that you might need to make in your mix. You know what I'm saying? It might be just an idea that you got that you didn't explain correctly. You know what I mean? So communication is the biggest thing that you can have in the music business, is being able to communicate properly. I think personally, you know.
I dig it, man. So let's get a little bit deeper into the situation you were saying. Like, you want to talk about We Brand Artists?
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, man. Tell these artists who may be watching, and maybe the next guy that I'm watching. Okay. I need to find out how to link up with QP and what exactly can QP do for me.
All right. So We Brand Artists, we're a marketing company. We're gonna call it organic marketing management. And what We Brand Artists is all about, it's all about helping the artists monetize their brand. So you got artist A, artist B. They have different scenarios on what they need out the music game. So our goal as a team is to sit down and figure out exactly where you're trying to go in the music business, exactly, you know, at least an idea of what you're trying to do. You know, you might be trying to be an artist that want your music played in the movies. You might be an artist that might be trying to make it to the radio. Well, those are two different approaches, and we need to cater to those needs a little differently. So what we do at We Brand Artists is we provide a situation where we can help you, get that done. This past year, we launched our first stage at South by Southwest, which went very well. Shout out to South by Southwest. Shout out to everybody who was there. Schoolie, Young Ralph was there. Westside KJ. Had a lot of good artists on my stage, and it was the first one. And from the feedback, people say, they had fun and it was done properly. That comes from my earlier days of doing showcases in the city. In Atlanta, I was one of the first guys to jump showcases off in the city from 97 on. So my goal is, even at the showcase in South by Southwest, is how can I provide something that's going to help the artists out? So I provided and helped put you on our Spotify playlist. We had a banner, we had a flyer with your individual name on it. And, luckily enough, we did a good enough job. All of us, me, the artists, and everybody who was involved, that, we got invited back to come do a stage with South by. So hopefully that pans out. But we'll definitely be down there marketing artists, helping you dream bigger. And that's pretty much what we're about.
Right on.
My experience in the music business. You got me talking now, Billy. I'm excited.
No, go
My
ahead.
experience in the music business is artists don't dream big enough. It's like you wake up saying, my dream too big. No, dream bigger. Dream bigger. You got to dream as big as you can, because you're going to fall short a lot of times of that dream, but just set your goals, and that's what we help artists do, is figure out how to dream big, but create a plan so you can, really capitalize on the goals that you have.
Solid, man. So hey, you gave the rundown, man. I mean, I guess let's run down a list of people that you work with, so people can kind of list your credentials, man. You don't have to list everybody unless you just want to.
I mean, let me.
So people can know that this is certified shit that you saying.
All right. Let me see here.
Well, of course, we know already the Outlaws. Shout out to Almighty Outlaws, man.
Yeah,
Salute.
that's right.
Legends in the game, OG.
That's right. Can't get around that. Now I guess I can go. Let me say Slick Puller.
Shout out Slick.
Slick. I'm just reading because I got Sean J. These are people who I either worked with personally, mixed on a record, produced a record, or maybe done some marketing for. Most of this stuff that I'm gonna name is probably like engineering and producing, but Sean J, Jim Jones, Rocco, Tight, Justice League, Jeezy, CTE, Slick Puller, Strap the Fool, my dog. Shout out to Strap the Fool. That's Travis Porter. Rest in peace, Bankroll Fresh. Zaytoven, I Am Sue, Schoolie, Lil Lonnie, rest in peace, Lil Lonnie. Costa Nostra Kid, Boss Bundles, Mr. Stinky, Tech Nine, Young Marley on the rise right now. Shout out to Young Marley, SGE. DJ MLK. If you have a mixtape on live mixtape with DJ MLK, most likely I probably had something to do with it. That's my dog. When I say had something to do with it, as far as like on the back end, helping him arrange it. We've done a lot of music together, so some of those mixtapes I can name numerous names on that. Young Ralph, Trilly and Prince Rick, Helliver, Block 125, South Boy, K Digger, Young Dro, Stormy Coleman, Chase Stevens, Dukes of DeVille, Mike Will, Billy.
Everybody. Billy Slum.
Billy Slum. Hey, now we finna get real. As far as like I can, and that's just people who y'all might be familiar with. Independent artists, I didn't work with over hundreds of independent artists. So if I didn't name your name, please don't take no disrespect to it. I mean, we'd be here all day talking. But it's a lot of people that I've worked with. Shout out to my brother Quez. I mean, we grinded together. We got it done together. We figured it out together. We recorded together. We did a lot of days together. So he was like my pupil. Oh, I don't know if I'm using the right word. Pupil. My big brother. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely, worked our kinks out. Was in the gym shooting together, as they say. I mean, I done work with a lot of people. But I always tell people this, Billy. I can name names forever, but I'm trying to work with you. You the next artist, you the next person I'm trying to work with, because I feel like just like all these people I named have been stars or have been in the spotlight for a while. I mean, shit, you a star. Everybody I work with has become a star, is a star. It's just about getting the right record you know, and
Right
getting the
on.
right situation behind you.
Right on. Talk.
Yeah, and that's
preach.
facts. I mean, because
Yeah.
think about it. Before, shout out to, I'm gonna say Young Thug because now I'm talking Patchwork as of recent.
Yeah.
I've assisted a session there with Young Thug. You know, the Dolphs. You know, assistant engineers as I've done different things. Shout out Lil Key. Before I say that, shout out Lil Key. Shout out Young Trez. That's what I'm working with right now. Young Trez getting it in. Shout out Young Trez, of course. But before there was a Young Thug, there was a Young Trez. And I'm just using that for example to say notoriety. You know, one artist might not be better than the next, but it's like, it's his time right now. So when it's your time, it'll be your time. But if you stop, it'll never be your time.
You preaching to me.
Yeah, now I'm talking to Billy.
You preaching
I'm talking to
me,
Billy
man.
because your time is when the fans allow you to have your time. And if you
Yeah.
work in your success factor and you pushing towards the fans, your time is really now for everybody. So if you need to get something distributed, marketed, you want to holler at me, you can catch me on any network at We Brand Artists. That's without an S at the end. Mixed by Nando on IG. Shit, you can call my phone, 404-421-8565. Same number, same dude.
Always. He basically interviewed himself. I just sit back and listen and soaked up the game myself, man. So you already know this is his family, his Gold Mine Mondays. I'm Billy Slum, homie QP.
Now, before we get out of this, because he know I'll cut a motherfucker off. My apologies.
It's all
My
you.
apologies.
It's
I'm
all
excited.
you, man. It's all
You know, because this interview is, I mean, as well as I hadn't been interviewed, and I appreciate you coming to talk to me.
Always.
You know what I mean? And you know, getting some of my story out. You know, we'll talk more. I want to get more of my story out, but I want to ask Billy a couple questions because I'm always excited to talk to Billy. We're gonna turn this interview around and
cool.
interview Slum. Why not?
Cool,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, I'm an open book, man.
You know, I always, as an engineer and as a producer, I respect the artist that can. The artist I want to work with is the artist that's taking care of their family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the artist that has a job and the artist that knows where they're going with their career versus just so loosey-goosey. They don't have a plan. And even though you think that ain't worked out, or people ask, you know, why you didn't blow up? That is a lot of times it's not you don't have control over that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
or it might just been the wrong vessel.
Might have been the wrong vessel.
Yeah.
What do you think that is Billy Slum's next situation? What's the next big thing for Billy Slum? Because I want to know. I know the people want to know.
Proper positioning, man. You know, it's like not to toot my own horn. I never been worried about the actual music part of it. It's just the proper positioning. Hey, product placement. That's
Product placement.
Yeah, that's it, man.
You think that's most artists' problem?
Well, first of all, I mean, let me backtrack. So, artists, you got to have a plan. You got to have a target demographic. You got to have your business and your paperwork in place. And then product placement. So, yeah, I would say so, especially coming from, I'm from Macon, Georgia. Small city, kind of known for the fuck shit a lot. You know, and people don't take us serious, you know what I'm saying, because of all the street shit that go on down there, you know, versus somewhere, you know, even though it's street shit going on in the A ain't no joke by no means, but what I'm saying is this is also a musical hub, a corporate hub. So people more business minded in this area versus those small towns. They're not gonna come find you because it's like a needle in a haystack. You know what I mean? So you got to really position yourself to be seen and make that impact, man. And I think that's what artists like myself, because I'm not the only one. You know, that's the purpose of me doing this show. That's the reason why I named it Gold Mine, because I have a song where the hook says you got a gold mine right in your face and you wasn't even looking for it. So like people walk by these gems or scroll by these gems every day, but unless you place yourself and get the proper marketing, like you saying, people won't know you exist. So that's the purpose of me trying to do stuff like this, man, and just kind of put the spotlight, even on yourself, even though you're already established in the game, you're very humble. Yeah. So a lot of people don't know your story, so they need to know this story. So that's the purpose of me doing stuff like this. Who knows who may be on the other side of that camera looking at what we're doing, you know what I mean? So. And
a lot of times I run into people who I'm familiar with in the music industry, and they say, man, you the most known, unknown guy I know, you know? Because Because some people know me by QP, Curious. Some people know me by Nando, you know. But you're going to get the same dude pretty much anywhere you go with it.
Right.
And, you know, I'm all about the success of the artist. How can we make this better? How can we, you know, do something that's going to be progressive for all, you know. Because people do need marketing. People need situations, and effective marketing and stuff that's going to matter, and not just your money being blown in the wind. You
Right.
know, because people work hard. That's why I asked you. That's why I say I respect the artists, because people really work hard to get something done.
Right
You
on.
know, and you have to respect. It's like I just had it happen recently where I've helped the artists out. You know what I mean? And they asked for my assistance. And you know, when it came to making the decisions, which I was supposed to make the ultimate decision, you know, they said, well, fuck you, Nando. We're gonna make a decision based on this. Well, that's not good business. So, you know, one, we'll never work together again. You know, two, it is what it is. And three, I've already taken care of my business to be covered. But at the same time, you know, I always tell people there's a difference in being used and utilized. You know, everybody want to be utilized. Nobody want to be used.
Right.
You know, and if you use me, then we got a problem.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm here to be utilized. You know what I mean? I run a business. I'm into music. You know, if you got a question, you call and ask me. I'm gonna run my mouth like I'm running right now.
Yeah.
But if we put something down and we say this is what it is and this is what's going on, we got to stick to them. Got to stick to them terms and conditions. You know,
Absolutely. As it should be.
as it should be. And if
Yeah.
something change up, that means you switched up, as they say in the industry. You know what I mean? You switched up. You know, you finessed me. You know what I mean? And y'all think that word cool. That ain't cool.
Yeah. Not in our era. That ain't cool.
Nah, that ain't cool.
Yeah. Well, hey man, anything that you want to end off and leave the people with? I mean,
Oh, yeah, I'm
it's
really-
a hell of a conversation. I mean,
I'm
we
really
can
a
talk
good
on
guy.
and on.
I'm really a good guy.
Oh yeah, that's why I said at the beginning, man. This guy always been solid. He been the same since I met him. Again, via True Breed. So I don't want to end this without shouting out Luke Ruger. Shout out Diesel
That-
the Don.
Come on, shout out
Yeah.
Diesel the Don. Shout out Dank Dump Truck. You know what I mean?
Dump
As
Truck,
we
man.
call him.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's like a minute ago. True Breed 3 the Hard Way, engineered predominantly by
Yeah.
QP, man. So if you familiar with that, it's a cult classic, underground in my area.
Yeah, one of
I hear about it all the time, man.
one of my faves. No joke. One of my faves I worked on because
Right on.
it was. We don't get that often. You know, you got the Migos as a group. You know, you got a few groups out there, but to engineer a project that was so different, all three of y'all was so different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got Ruger, who was, you know, he's straight gangster. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We got all y'all gangster, but you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
the lyric approach.
I'm a family man now.
And you got,
I'm a family man now.
well, like my grandma said, it's a difference between being a rogue and being a thug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I can respect that.
Like roguish behavior ain't really
Yeah.
cool. You know,
Yeah.
thug, you got, you know, it is what it is. Your daughter
Yeah.
need that in her life. You know what I mean? Or else it'll be problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a 15-year-old. Shout out to my baby girl lyric.
Okay. Shout out.
But yeah, I mean that's just the game in a sense, man. You know, to be able to work with 3 artists at a time
Mhm.
and get that camaraderie in the
I
jail.
didn't even know how that was gonna work, man. I was kind of placed in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I came to the table as a solo artist, and you know I was presented with, "Hey, do this, and then we're gonna move on to your solo thing." So
Mhm.
I didn't know how it was gonna work,
It was tough.
and it came out to be a pretty dope project.
It was from an engineer's perspective.
It was tough.
I watched the toughness of
Yeah,
putting it together,
yeah.
but that sometimes make the best projects. I mean, you gotta think how hard it was probably for Wu-Tang to put all that together.
Yeah, and then from the backstory of that, a couple of them when there was little friction between their neighborhood. Yeah, man.
So, I think it's good for hip hop. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
I think in the era of everybody want to be like you were saying earlier before the interview, me, look at me.
Yeah.
You know, you should maybe group up with a couple people. You know, it works for stages. You know, Run DMC did it.
Yeah.
You know, Migos is getting it in right now, killing it. Then they, branching off.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing we don't do in our community enough of. We don't stick together to try to form something and then, you know, maneuver from there. So
All facts, man.
I'm looking for a group. And any groups out there, come holler at your boy. Any groups or any R&B people, I'm willing to work with them.
And there you have it, man. So who knows what the future's gonna bring, man. You know, I think everything happens for a reason. And Creator granted this time, this day, this opportunity for us to finally link up, because we've been supposed to have done this already.
Absolutely.
But everything happened for a reason and the perfect time. And so that's all I got to say, man. Unless you have something else you want to end off with.
Shout out to Macon. Shout out to South Georgia.
Hey.
Hinesville, Savannah, you know what I mean? The Low Country. You know, shout out to the A, of course. How can I not? Because I'm from here now. I've been here since I've been 18. So, shout out to the whole AUC. And shout out to all the artists I didn't work with over all these years. Without y'all, shit, I wouldn't even be an engineer. So definitely appreciate y'all. Shout out to Billy Slum for putting me on this Gold Mine Monday.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man. And, hey.
Anytime, my brother. It's love. Nothing but love. You know what I mean?
Righteous.
And shout out to Billy, because we got a new record coming soon.
Hey, he just put it in the air. He put it in the atmosphere. Who knows? Let's make it happen.
You got some commas in the bank, now that's a major move. Free yourself from what they think, now that's a major move. When they're retracing your steps, you're making major moves. Can't see the hate, cause we too busy making major moves. Major moves, major.